Australia has promised tougher gun laws a day after the Bondi beach shooting. At least 15 people were killed and dozens injured as they gathered to mark the beginning of the Jewish holiday Chanukah. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has described the attack as antisemitic and pure evil as the country comes to terms with one of its worst atrocities in decades.
A day after the deadly Bondi beach shooting, Australians are gathering to pay tribute and mourn the lives that were lost. Flags are flying on half-staff in a country that was deeply shaken by the worst mass shooting in decades.
At the moment, people are in shock. There are families that we need to connect with loved ones who are in hospital, and we need to find which hospital they're in, be able to advocate for them, be able to get the messages through, etc. For those that have passed away, we need to start looking at working with coroner to be able to then have funerals as soon as possible.
The Jewish community was supposed to be celebrating Hanukah. The holiday is known as Judaism's Festival of Lights. Instead, the whole nation is now coping with a tragedy. Among the victims are the Holocaust survivor Alexander Kleitman, football player Dan El-Kayam, described by his teammates as a talented sportsman, and Rabbi Reuben Morrison, who experienced persecution in the Soviet Union where he was born. Meanwhile, a local fruit store owner, identified as Ahmed Al-Ahmed, who was filmed tackling one of the shooters during the attack, was hailed as a hero and is now being treated for gunshot wounds at a hospital.
He noticed one of the armed men at a distance hiding behind a tree. My son is a hero. He served with the police and in the Central Security Forces, and he has the impulse to protect people. When he saw people laying on the ground and the blood everywhere, immediately his conscience and his soul compelled him to pounce on one of the terrorists and to rid him of his weapon.
Officials in Sydney have launched an investigation into what they're calling an act of antisemitic terrorism. The government has pledged to impose stricter gun laws and provide more funding to protect the Jewish community in Australia.
The attack in Australia sent shockwaves around the world. Here in Berlin, for example, a Chanukah ceremony at the Brandenburg Gate paid tribute to the victims and stressed resilience in the face of anti-Semitic violence. Speakers called for unity and defiance as cities across Europe stepped up security for Jewish communities.
A personal friend of mine was sadly murdered, along with many others. He just wanted to bring a good, positive spirit to the community on the occasion of Hanukah, the festival of light. This terrible event shocked us all. It left us speechless. But let us be clear, we will not be intimidated under no circumstances.
I think it's important to express feelings of democracy and freedom. It doesn't matter what religion, what faith. It's important to express yourself and to continue to celebrate.
And I'm joined now by Hanna. She's the president of the European Union of Jewish Students and joins us from Brussels tonight. Hanna, welcome back to DW. Hearing about attacks on the Jewish community like the one in Sydney yesterday, how does that make you feel?
We are all still really much dealing with the shock. It's not the first time that the Jewish community worldwide wakes up on the morning of a holiday, a day when we are supposed to be happy, when we're supposed to be surrounded by our loved ones, when we're supposed to celebrate. It's not the first time we're waking up on a day like this with horrible news on our phones. And it's very important to understand that when the Jewish community is targeted in one place, it, in the end of the day, affects all of us. Things that happen on one continent can inspire others to do the same things also on a different continent. We all are one united Jewish community, and when one of us is targeted, we all feel it, and we all feel targeted by it.
Many countries have seen a sharp rise in anti-Semitism since the October 7th Hamas attacks and the start of the Gaza war. Is that something you have encountered yourself? How has daily life for Jewish people changed over the past 2 years?
For the past 2 years, Jewish people have been isolated from the general society. We keep asking ourselves how much more we can build our security structures to feel more safe, to have the basic feeling of security that everybody deserves. We have encountered anti-Semitism in really every context of our daily lives, on university campuses, on the internet, at the workplace, and so on and so forth. Life has drastically changed for the Jewish community worldwide for the past 2 years. And we feel like we're standing with our backs up against the wall from where we can only defend ourselves, where we can only think about how to make our communities, how to make our institutions, how to make our events and homes safe. And this is a reality that no one should experience.
It's not just an increase. Experts and Jewish organizations have also warned about a normalization of anti-Semitism. Why do you think this has been happening, and what does it mean for society as a whole?
What we have been experiencing in the past 2 years has not only changed the way that the Jewish communities feel in Europe and our sense of belonging to Europe, but it has also changed the discourse that we've been seeing in Europe. As you said, anti-Semitism has been normalized. It has become normal to see incidents and terror attacks and not really feel much about it anymore. Anti-Semitism has been trivialized. It's been neglected. The fact that shooters could easily murder, terrorists could murder this many people, and the reaction of a lot of people on the internet, in media, and so on, has been to search for reasons why the Jewish people deserve to be murdered, really shows the situation and the position that European societies are in. It has been normalized. It has become part of our daily reality, and it doesn't shock most people anymore because they feel like it's far away from them. It has nothing to do with them. So the solidarity for Jewish people also increases drastically over the past 2 years.
What needs to be done to tackle this problem then, and who should take the lead?
Anti-Semitism has to finally be taken seriously. We've had so many words, we've seen so many statements over the past years, big speeches by politicians and so on and so forth. In the end of the day, what we really need is actions. The Jewish community worldwide, in Europe, in Australia, everywhere, needs to be taken seriously. This has been by far not the first terrorist attack, anti-Semitic terrorist attack happening on Australian soil. We had a lot of attacks, anti-Semitic terrorist attacks, also here in Europe. We need consequences. We need politicians to take this seriously. We need to fight Islamism. We need to fight every sort of extremism. We need to take this very seriously because in the end of the day, it's not just going to be the Jewish community, but societies at large who will be affected and who will be suffering from this. We need the Jewish community to be able to live and celebrate our holidays in safety and in dignity. We don't want to be concerned about security all the time. We are celebrating the holiday of light, Hanukah. We want to spread that light and, again, not only be concerned with safety. We need way more civil courage, like we saw from Ahmed al-Ahmed, who stepped in, who fought the terrorists, risking his own life. People have to recognize that anti-Semitism, in the end of the day, should not be the problem of the Jewish community. We don't need any more words. We need actions. We need actions from politics, and we need actions from civil society.
Hanna, the president of the European Union of Jewish Students, thank you so much.
Thank you.